Hi there, and welcome to the Daily Arsenal News Show. Let's dive into today's top stories. Sky journalist now claims Arsenal player has agreed to sign for Newcastle this summer. Sky Sports' James Green has just made a serious transfer claim pertaining to both Arsenal and Newcastle. The journalist claimed that Aaron Ramsdale is going to join Newcastle this summer, claiming that he's heard directly from the player's agent that a deal is done. Green shared what he knows about Ramsdale and a move to Newcastle. He said, I will give you this. I understand, and I found out directly from a player's agent that one of our players is off to Newcastle and a deal has been agreed, one that has caused debate and divide this season. Do you know who I am going to say? It's my understanding that Aaron Ramsdale has agreed to join Newcastle in the summer. That has come directly from speaking to somebody who I am very close with, who has spoken to his agent, and he said it's done. The deal is happening. It's not a surprise that this is one of the first transfers that is heading up ahead of the summer because it's one that makes the most sense. Indeed, Ramsdale needs a new club after spending the season sat on the bench in North London, and Newcastle do need a new goalkeeper after Nick Pope's season sidelined with injury. Put two and two together, and you can easily understand why Newcastle are after Ramsdale. The England international has been a fantastic servant for Arsenal, but unfortunately, due to David Raya's arrival at the club, has been relegated to the bench and ultimately he may be forced to leave the club. Green believes this is a transfer that is set to be finalized, so keep an eye out for any official announcement on this front. Paul Merson says Arsenal have one player who hasn't had a bad game all season. Writing for SportsKeeda, Paul Merson has named Arsenal's Declan Rice as the signing of the season, claiming that the midfielder has taken Arsenal to another level and has been at least a 7 out of 10 in every single game he has played this term. Merson spoke highly of Rice when naming him as signing of the season. He wrote the following: Signing of the season, Declan Rice has taken Arsenal to another level and has been at least a 7 out of 10 in every Premier League game this season. Marson is right. It's hard to remember a single game in which Declan Rice hasn't been solid. Fulham away may be the only example where Rice has been less than a 7 out of 10, but other than that, he has been absolutely stellar. The England international has taken to life at Arsenal like a duck to water, and he is really elevated the Gunners to the next level. Unfortunately, Rice's debut season at Arsenal is likely to end without a Premier League trophy, but if the midfielder's former club West Ham can do Arsenal a favour and get a result against Manchester City this weekend, then Arsenal could still end up as champions. Whether they win the league or not, Arsenal's capture of Rice this summer has to be considered one of the best signings of the season in the Premier League. Arsenal keen on a Brazilian attacker with 7 goals in 14 games. Edu a huge admirer. Arsenal are interested in signing the Brazilian striker Marcos Leonardo at the end of the season. According to a report from TBR Football, Arsenal wanted to sign him in January, but the player ended up joining Benfica. The Gunners remain keen on securing the 21-year-old signature, and it remains to be seen whether they submit an official proposal for him at the end of the season. Arsenal sporting director Edu is a huge admirer of the player, and they have been keeping an eye on his progress. The 21-year-old has 7 goals in 14 league appearances for the Portuguese club so far, and he is highly rated across Europe. Leonardo has the potential to play for the biggest clubs in the world in the near future, and Arsenal will be hoping to snap him up. It's no secret that Arsenal need a reliable goal scorer, and Leonardo would be a quality long-term investment for them. The Gunners cannot continue to rely on Gabriel Jesus next season. The Brazilian has found the back of the net just 4 times in the league, and Arsenal will have to bring in an upgrade if they want to compete for major trophies. Although Leonardo is quite young and he might need time to develop into a top class striker in the Premier League, he has the attributes to develop into a future star and he would be a superb investment for the North London club. Benfica can be a difficult club to negotiate with, and the Portuguese outfit might not want to sell him after just half a season at the club. Arsenal will have to pay a premium if they want to convince Benfica to sell the player this summer. It will be interesting to see how the situation develops. Mikel Arteta now thinks outstanding £34 million defender is the perfect signing for Arsenal. Last year, the Gunners went out and splashed big money on Declan Rice, Jurriën Timber, David Raya and Kai Havertz. And going into the summer, Arsenal are expected to go again, and one player being targeted is Manchester City-owned defender Jan Couto. According to a report from Tutto Juve, Arsenal are among a cluster of teams keen on taking Couto this summer. Despite being owned by Man City, Couto has made his name this season, playing for Girona, who have qualified for the Champions League after an extraordinary season in Spain. Couto has been a key part of that season, contributing 10 assists from right back and playing in all but 3 games in the league. And according to Tutto Juve's report, Mikel Arteta sees him as the ideal signing for Arsenal this summer. Despite having Ben White doing brilliantly at right back and Jurriën Timber back from injury for next season, there is constant talk of a new fullback being signed. Couto is also being tracked by Manchester United. Parent club City are believed to be looking for around £34 million to offload the 21-year-old. While Ben White has done superbly well at right back for Arsenal and won't be moving on anytime soon, if he is injured, Arsenal look weaker. A player like Couto, who at 21 has time to develop and get even better, would give Arsenal a player in the position who is more of a natural, and given his attacking output this season, give the Gunners a more direct threat from right back. Couto, dubbed outstanding after his performances in La Liga, would probably argue he deserves a chance at Man City after this year, but they are so good at the moment, he is going to need to do something special to get in that team. Arsenal then could well snap up a gem by landing the Brazilian this summer. Arsenal ready to rekindle interest in £30 million Serie A midfielder. The Gunners have had massive success in signing Declan Rice last summer, and there is a feeling at the club that another top central midfielder could really help. Mikel Arteta really wants to keep improving his team, and a midfielder is on the agenda. According to reports from Italy, one man on the list again is Italy and Juventus midfielder Manuel Locatelli. According to a report from Juve Live, Arsenal are back in the mix for Locatelli, who is said to be far from completely happy in Turin as it stands. Locatelli, who signed for Juve back in August 2021 for around £30 million, has been a regular feature for the old lady since then, but is thought to be unsure about his future under Massimiliano Allegri, who has been sacked today. Of course, Arsenal's interest in Locatelli stems from some time ago, and they tried to land him a few transfer window back. Indeed, it was only at the start of 2023 that reports suggested Juventus were wanting to sell Locatelli to Arsenal to raise funds for a raid on Chelsea. Arsenal's initial interest in Locatelli goes all the way back to 2021. It's little surprise then to see him mentioned again. If Arsenal can get a midfielder signed who can have the same sort of impact as Declan Rice, then it could be a massive swing in next season's title race. Of course, spending £100 million plus might not be happening again, but Manuel Locatelli is a cheaper offering who could have a big impact. The Italian has started for Juventus and was part of the Euro 2020 winning team with Italy, while he's also helped Juve win the Coppa Italia this season. Italian media compared Locatelli to Spanish great Xavi Hernandez not too long ago. Locatelli then could be a useful signing for the Gunners. £51 million striker will be an Arsenal player next season if his agent has his way. Mikel Arteta is known to want to add new players to the ranks, a new forward, potentially a midfielder and a fullback or winger have all been tipped to arrive in North London. But as things stand, it's looking like a new striker could be one of the first deals Edu and Arteta get done. And according to reports from Italy, that deal could involve Joshua Zirkzee arriving at the Emirates. According to a report from Corriere dello Sport, Zirkzee's agent is keen to move his client on the summer, and if he gets his way, a move to Arsenal is the one. The report states that his agent is keen to take the Dutch forward to North London and that Edu is actually really keen on signing the forward. Indeed, it suggested the Arsenal Supremo is waiting with open arms to sign the £51 million rated striker. Quite whether Bologna will get that £50 million plus fee, though, remains to be seen. Reports yesterday suggested that Zirkzee now actually has a release clause in his contract worth closer to the £34 million mark. If that is the case, then it could easily be within Arsenal's budget this summer. As we know, it's not the first time Arsenal have been mentioned when it comes to signing Zirkzee. The forward has been deemed more likely to sign for the Gunners than Ivan Toney, and it looks a distinct possibility he does move on this summer from Bologna. However, Arsenal need to be wary over signing Zirkzee. The big question all season is, do Arsenal have that player who is going to be a number 9 and score 20 goals a season with ease? As it stands, Zirkzee, with just 12 goals this season, doesn't appear to be that man. Certainly, Arsenal fans will want to see someone more proven come in at some point. Journalist says £43 million player is more likely to sign for Arsenal than Alexander Isak. Many strikers have been linked, and speaking on Inside Arsenal, Charles Watts has been discussing who Arsenal could end up signing. The journalist spoke about recent links to Alexander Isak, and he reckons that Arsenal won't go for someone like Isak because of how well Kai Havertz is doing, claiming that Benjamin Sesko is a much more likely target. Watts spoke about these two strikers. He said, I can see why Arsenal might be thinking we don't need to go for an Alexander Isak when they have Havertz doing what they are doing. I wish they would, but they probably won't. I think they will look at a Sesko. Sesko may be more likely to join Arsenal this summer, but there is no doubting who the better option would be. Isak is proven in the Premier League, he is sharper on the ball, and he scores more goals. Of course, at the age of just 20, Sesko has plenty of time on his side to grow and improve to get onto Isak's level, but as Arsenal know, there is no such thing as a guarantee in football when you are talking about a young player. At £43 million, Sesko would be the much cheaper option, but if Arsenal are genuinely intent on challenging for the Premier League and the Champions League next season, perhaps they should push the boat out and get a deal for Isak done. I will be uploading daily Arsenal news, so keep your eyes on the channel and don't forget to like and subscribe. I appreciate your support. Peace out.